Step 4 in the home selling process is the home inspection. Virtually all buyers today are going to have a home inspection completed on your property. This is going to be where they hire a neutral third party to come out and inspect everything in the home, from the foundation to the roof and everything in between. There will be a general home inspector that will look at the overall condition of the property and any major systems like plumbing, HVAC, electrical, etc. There's also the potential that they may ask for some follow-up inspections to be done. For example, if the inspector finds some issues with some of the piping in the home, they might advise a buyer to have a plumber come out. If they find any issues with the electrical system in the home, they might recommend to the buyer that they have an electrician come out. So it always begins with a general home inspection. And just so you're forewarned, there is the possibility that the buyer may ask for a few additional follow-up inspections to be completed along the way. So just be prepared for that. As far as how this home inspection works, we'll coordinate the timing with you on a time that will work best for you as well as the home inspector. It's also customary that the seller not be home during the home inspection. That's because the buyer, their agent, and the home inspector should be able to have a free conversation to discuss any issues that they're seeing with the home, as well as their future plans for it. So if possible, we typically like for you to not be home for that. Now, depending on the size of your home, these inspections can be as short as 2 hours, or if you have a much larger home, it could be up to 4 or 5 hours. We'll coordinate with you and give you an idea of how long we expect it to take. So to reiterate, as far as who's going to be present, there will be the buyer, their agent, and the home inspector. Once they've completed the home inspection, what will happen next is the home inspector will provide the buyer with the report, which is typically about an 80-page report, somewhere around there, plus or minus 20 pages, depending on the size of the home. The buyer will review it to see if they need to have any additional inspections done, and they may ask some questions. For example, maybe the home inspector couldn't figure out what a light switch went to, or something along those lines. So just be prepared for the fact that the buyer may have some follow-up questions or maybe even some follow-up inspections. We just want to make sure that we're prepared for that. Now, when they're doing this, we'll talk a little more about the renegotiation process later, but if the buyer does find issues with the home, they'll have the ability to send over a request for repairs during this renegotiation phase. And when they do that, it's going to be one of 3 things. 1, they're either going to ask you to repair specific things. 2, they're going to ask you to give them a credit in lieu of repairing those things. Or 3, they'll ask that you reduce the price in lieu of repairing those things. It's all a negotiation. So by contract, all homes are sold as is, subject to an inspection. So there's no de facto way that this gets handled every single time. It's all a negotiation. The good thing is you've got a great team and a great brokerage behind you, so we're going to be negotiating on your behalf to make sure we do everything we can to get you the best possible outcome, keep your transaction on track, and get it closed. So that's step 4 in the home selling process.